Hello down there. You want to know about the Western genre? Let's take a look at iconography, which will distinguish what exactly the genre involves. First, you need to change your setting. Typical Western settings are set in a desert or by mountains and rivers. The scene will also usually contain a barn house and have train tracks nearby, usually when an intense scene approaches. Next, you need the right costumes. The hero would typically wear a jacket, jeans, boots, hat, and would carry a gun and holster. Now you're looking the part. All these aspects need to be shown on screen. Typical camera shots will be close-ups when characters are having a standoff. What's a standoff, you say? A standoff is usually between the good guy and the bad guys, which creates a triangle composition. There is some distance between the characters, the hero at the head and the bad guys in line with each other. The scene will result in the hero drawing his gun and killing his opponents. The scenes include close-ups of the characters' eyes to challenge each other. Who's gonna shoot first? The camera would be seen tracking down as the hero reaches for his gun. The camera often zooms out to show the location and the characters. Why all this conflict? Well, this guy Levi Strauss had a theory of binary oppositions which occur in a narrative structure. For Westerns, we are shown good versus bad, e.g. hero versus villain, culture versus nature, black versus white, freedom versus restriction, vast desert versus smaller town frontier, community versus individual. Typically, one of the two opposites assumes a role of dominance over the other. Classical American Westerns consisted of a good guy, with a level of mystery coming into the area of trouble to clean it up. He was often placed together with a stereotypical bad guy, an example of straightforward good versus bad. There were also the Westerns, which included cowboys attacked by the savage Indians. However, in the 1960s, both black and Indian movements became strong voices in the US. Cowboy versus Indian Westerns were seen as racist attacks on the natives of the land. The white versus black opposition represents a division in America between the Americans and the Native Americans, often resulting in a violent hierarchy in which one governs the other. But Westerns have developed over time by dealing with further issues we see within society today. Over the last 15 years, it has become routine for many social or historical analyses to address the variables of gender, class, sexuality, race, and ethnicity in various mediums such as film. An example would be the clip being shown, Brokeback Mountain, which follows a romantic story of forbidden and secretive relationship between two cowboys and their lives over the years. That's a lot to take in. The Western genre has thoroughly been developed, not just through oppositions, but through violence too. There has always been a degree of violence in Westerns. Throughout time, the violence has become more graphic, whereas the older films wouldn't show you these parts. This is evident in Tarantino films such as Django Unchained. Ugh. That explained it all, really. Even though older Westerns aren't visually more violent, the death toll is certainly a lot higher. Particularly The Wild Bunch, which was directed by Sergio Leone and had an on-screen death count of 145 people, and was considered graphic and controversial. I think we get the idea. It was after this that spaghetti westerns were known for having these attributes. Spaghetti western was a term given to Italian directors who made western films. It later became known to describe all European westerns. They took a different approach to show dark and brutal violence in the cinematic style that separates European to Hollywood westerns. A frequent collaboration in spaghetti westerns would be Sergio Leone and Clint Eastwood. Eastwood rose to fame in Leone's film Man with No Name. You confident about westerns now? Westerns aren't as popular in cinema today. However, their themes still are heavily influenced in cinema today.